Akanksha, Nidesha, all are familiar to me. Anything? Okay, fine. I'll be explaining rest of the things in between. So, dear students, hope the screen is visible to you. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, dear students, Shakra will manage. You can leave. Okay. Today we are going to discuss this particular topic called Akbar the Great. I'll be explaining each and every point very clearly, just to give that much attention from your side. That's enough. We'll be discussing Akbar the Great. Why this topic is that much important? If you are studying the medieval Indian history, you cannot study, or your learning will not be completed. Your learning will not be complete without learning Akbar. That much significance we have. Definitely for your examination, you can expect one question from this particular region, Akbar. And we'll be discussing some of the very important perspectives and something touching every corner of Akbar's ruling period, that is reign, administrative period, reign, today's session. Okay, so let me discuss with Akbar's basic things, that is biography. His full name is Abul Fatah Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. So his name is Abul Fatah Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, and Akbar is one name or one title actually received and given by the people of the country, Hindustan. Okay, so Akbar is the title. At the same time, Jalaluddin Muhammad is his real name. And he ruled between 1556 until 1605. Since we know the history that Babur, he came into India by 1526. After him comes Humayun, and Humayun, he died by 1556 itself. And next comes Akbar. So this is a basic thing. And we'll be explaining some of the very important things in between. We'll be connecting and relating every points in between. And when we're taking this Akbar's history, his family related to or belongs to Mughal dynasty, that is having influence from both Genghis Khan as well as Timur. Genghis Khan, he actually one Mongolian, and Timur is something Mongol-led Turkish. Of these two personalities have that much of influence and conquest throughout the world. They are Genghis Khan, Timur, and his family lineage goes to Akbar as well. And regarding the history, how he take birth or how he's born, you guys know something regarding Humayun's administration. Humayun, he was ruling between 1530 till 1540. What happened in the 1540? There happened one particular battle. Anybody? What's the name of that particular battle? Give me a reply. Give me a reply. Otherwise, I'll be having some brief explanation and I'll proceed accordingly. Yo, it's not Panipat. Panipat, we have only first Panipat here, 1526. Panipat. Okay. For my classroom students, did you watch that basic video that I have provided in your application? Just tell me that, did you watch, especially Ruby and Nidesha, did you guys watch that one?
Sir, Gagra.
It's not Gagra. Gagra was around 1529.
Sir, Kannauj.
Sir.
Yeah, that is Battle of Kannauj, otherwise called as Battle of Bilgram. Battle of Kannauj or Battle of Bilgram, that was fought in the year 1540 between Humayun as well as Humayun versus Sher Shah. And finally, what happened? Sher Shah won this battle. Humayun lost his Mughal kingdom, and Humayun went to Persia, that is Iran region, and he lost his kingdom for 15 years. For 15 years, what we have? We have the ruling period of Sher Shah and his followers, that is called as the Sur dynasty. That is called as the Sur dynasty. Okay. And when he went to Persia, Humayun, when he went to Persia around 1542, for the next 2 years, he was at Lahore region. And when he was in Lahore, he is actually giving birth to whom? He is actually giving birth to King Akbar at Amarkot region. That is in the year 1542. And what we can see, after 15 years, Humayun goes to come back to India, because Sher Shah actually died in the year 1545. And we can see some other rulers of this Sur dynasty actually ruling over that particular region. And by 1556, what we can see, that is built by Sher Shah. Anybody can name of that library? Library in which Humayun fell down and actually led to his death. The name of the library that Humayun fell down. Anybody? Hajra, Jarna, Nisha. Would you explain that?
Sher Mandal.
Yeah, very good, Nidasha. That is the Sher Mandal. Sher Mandal. Okay. And he fell from Sher Mandal, Humayun, and died over there. Okay. After getting some kind of injuries, after 2 or 3 days, he died. So when he dies, Akbar had only 13 years of age. Under 13 years of age, King Akbar, he was in the Lahore region. But he was supported by his mentor, Bayram Khan. And Bayram Khan brought him to Delhi and made him the king. At the age 13, he became the king and he was appointed by king, or he was given that particular coronation by this person, Bayram Khan. Bayram Khan. Okay. Fine. Now we'll be discussing some of the very important, powerful subtopics from this unit. One is Bayram Khan. After that, we'll be discussing something. The end of Bayram Khan, his family, Akbar's family, prominent wives, names of some wives, and we'll be discussing the early event in which we'll be mentioning something regarding some of the very important contributions, as well as we'll be focusing some of the political expansion, battles, such kind of things in today's particular session. Let's see how much we can go with your active participation and coordination. So guys, yeah, we are discussing Bayram Khan. Actually, I hope everybody has watched this particular movie called as Bahubali. In Bahubali, you can see one character called as Kattappa. So Kattappa was the military commander. Similarly, Bayram Khan also was the military commander. And you have to know something very important regarding Bayram Khan, because you can expect certain question from here. Like, I'll be discussing some of the questions in between. Muhammad Bayram Khan was his real name. Muhammad Bayram Khan, just not this name, Bayram Khan. He was the guardian, chief mentor, advisor, teacher, and the most trusted ally of King Akbar. And when he came into power, meaning when Akbar came into power on his 13, Akbar honored him as with a title called as Khani Khanan. That means King of Kings. So Khani Khanan, that means King of Kings. That was the title given to Bayram Khan. And he also having one particular title before, that is Bayram Beg. Bayram Beg means, you sometimes call this Bayram Bey. Bey meaning something respectful, noble position, in which you will be saying Bayram Bey or Bayram Beg was his earliest name. Later he was given the title Khani Khan. After that he received Bayram Khan. And we can see not only Bayram Khan, his family members like his father, like Saif Ali Beg Baharlu, and even grandfather Janali Beg Baharlu. So Baharlu, something. Okay, they were in the Mughal court and they were in the Mughal services. What we can see even during the period of Babur services itself, we can see the presence of Bayram Khan's grandfather Janali Beg Baharlu. Okay, so just to know his family background as well. And the point is that during the time of Humayun, not this much of information, because actually while we are learning this particular topic, Bayram Khan, we'll be focusing on Akbar's period only. But we should know something before that as well. Yeah, one point is that during the time of Humayun, not this point, that is very important, he was in the position of a Muhardar. Muhardar meaning the keeper of the seals. So you have to learn such kind of terminology. So terminologies are actually going to ask you for this particular examination. So Muhardar, that was a particular position given to Bayram Khan during the time of Humayun's period. After that, he was gradually appointed to the post of military commander. Okay. Yeah, we know something regarding the Battle of Kannauj that was fought in there 1540. And in which what we can see, Humayun was defeated, and even this Bayram Khan was captured by Sher Shah. Later, Bayram Khan actually escaped from there. And later he joined with Humayun in Lahore region, and they together conquered the Kandahar region. And he was in the commander in the reconquest of Hindustan as well in their 1555. Meaning, when Humayun came back from Persia, Bayram Khan itself was the military commander. And when Humayun was dying, that was on 1556, Bayram Khan actually was leading a particular campaign in Punjab against Sikandar Shah Suri. So what we can see, when Humayun was dying, just to note these two names, when Humayun was dying, that means around 1556 or just before Akbar coming to power, what we can see, there were two very important enemies or political issues that were faced by the Mughals. One was this Punjab region, in which you can see this person, Sikandar Shah Suri. Sikandar Shah Suri. At the same time, one was in the Bengal region, and that was something called as Vikramjit. Who is that? Or something called as Hemu or Hemachandra, the military commander of this Sur dynasty itself, right? So there were two problems. One was in Punjab, other one is in Bengal region. And when Humayun was dying, Bayram Khan was in a military activity in Punjab region. Okay, and we can see during this Bayram Khan's leadership, he even had some kind of diplomatic and military power. Thus, he even changed one of his rival, one of his foe, one of his enemy, Tardi Beg, and appointed him as the governor of Delhi. Not this name Tardi Beg. This is something important. Sometimes you'll get some kind of political questions, such as statement-wise questions or direct questions from this particular region itself. So Tardi Beg, he was appointed as a commander or governor of Delhi, and he given the charge of Delhi. So this was the case of Bayram Khan till the time of Akbar. And what we can see, Humayun is going to die by 27th January. When Humayun died, Akbar didn't actually know that information his father died, because that's not a there like nowadays we are having chat, WhatsApp and something like that. So the information was kept secret. And Akbar, he was crowned as the new Mughal emperor by 14th February. His Valentine's Day was like that thing, like that one. Okay, and Bayram Khan, he was appointed as the Wakil Prime Minister, and he was given the title Khani Khanan, that means the King of Kings. And one another particular title was also given, that is Commander in Chief of the Army. You can read like it, Sipa Salar, Itisadu Daulat, Kahira. No need to study, basically just understand that Commander in Chief as well as Khani Khanan, and he was the Wakil. Wakil meaning the Prime Minister. These were the posts given to Bayram Khan. Just to try to understand this much of information. Okay, so far we have discussed that Bayram Khan, he was a early commander and as well as early mentor who guided King Akbar. And as part of that, we mentioned who was this Bayram Khan, what was his father's role and some other family members' role, and during the time of Humayun, what happened. And also we discussed some of his enemies, like the Punjab mein, we had this Sikandar Shah Suri, at the same time Bengal mein Vikramjit or Hemu or Hemachandra, and Delhi mein Tardi Beg. Okay, such kind of things. And now we are discussing Akbar's time. He is going to have one conflict with the Hemu or Hemachandra or Vikramjit, as we mentioned here. And as part of that, we know something. There happened one severe battle called as 1556 May, 5th November. That is second battle of Panipat. I'll be explaining something regarding Panipat. Before that, let me cover this particular topic. And second battle of Panipat, just to try to understand one very important point. This was fought on 5th November 1556. Even before that, what we can see, there happened one particular battle called as Battle of Tughlaqabad. Battle of Tughlaqabad. Okay. Then Battle of Tughlaqabad. Actually, Tughlaqabad, you know, something very important city in Delhi. Now, guys, just to tell me who actually constructed the city Tughlaqabad. There is one clue. What is that? Tughlaq. So give me the answer. Yeah, Nidesha, very good. Thank you. Thank you for having this beautiful response, because we have taken that lesson extensively and exclusively with all most important points. We covered entire Delhi Sultans, right? So thank you, Nidesha, for answering correctly. That is Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He actually built this city, and we can see one particular battle called as Battle of Tughlaqabad in Delhi, and that was on the October month. It was on October month. Somebody is playing with my notes. Who is that? Nisha. Just listen, don't play with arrow marks. Okay, so what we can see in the Battle of Tughlakabad, that just fought before the second Battle of Panipat, and in which what we can see, the Tardi Beg, he was defeated by Hemu. Think about that. So Hemu is coming from the regions of Bengal and is going to defeat Tardi Beg and take control over. He's planning to take control over the Delhi region, Delhi and Agra region. So that was his intention. So what we can see, Delhi was in the charge of whom? Tardi Beg, and Tardi Beg was appointed by whom? Bairangan. So Bairangan got some kind of angry towards Tardi Beg. You bloody idiot! You were responsible to protect Delhi. So based on this quarrel and confusion, Bairangan, he killed Tardi Beg. Was killed. So the story of Tardi Beg ends here. So that's why just to try to understand. And thus what we can see, Bairangan itself is going to command his army along with the King Akbar that face in the second battle of Panipat in the year 1556, 5th November. Now guys, just let me brief something regarding the Panipat war. So what we can say, as I said, the first battle of Panipat was happened in the year 1526 between Babar as well as Ibrahim Lodi. This was the case. And here, for your kind of information, we have already discussed such kind of things when we are having this classroom discussion. Along with that, just to try to understand the tactics adopted by Babar. One is called as Tuluguma. Second one is called as Araba. Both are actually integrated methods. So the methods of Tuluguma as well as Araba were adopted by Babar to defeat the large army of Ibrahim Lodi. What was that one? It was very simple. I'll be explaining with something. Tuluguma. I can show you the picture. That would be much more better than my explanation. Oh, not this one. What I written? Tuluguma and Arab tactics. Yeah, think about this one. You can see this particular picture, I think. So think that, yeah, you can see Babar and his armies here. And he's going to divide his army into three. One portion of the army will be here in the center. Another one will be in the right side. Another will be in the left side. And this division is called as Tuluguma method, in which they are going to attack the army of the enemy. So you can see the army here. So they are having some kind of coverage from two sides, as well as what we can see, there will be one caravan, one van will be there, one what I can say, one particular cart will be there, one protection will be there, and beyond that, what we can see, they are going to use the cannons, boom, boom. And based on that, what we can see, with the tactics and strategy itself, they are going to defeat the large armies of Ibrahim Lodi. So this method, this arrangement is called as Tuluguma, as well as this center method, in which what we can see the usage of cart, and behind that the usage of cannons, that is called as the Araba method. Guys, tell me, is that clear? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Just note these two names, that is enough. Tuluguma as well as Araba. Okay, that was the first battle of Panipat. In the second battle of Panipat, what we can see, Hemu, he was defeated simply how, the battle was like Hemu had more number of elephants, but unfortunately, the Hemu who was sitting on an elephant and fighting or having this archery, he was he struck with one particular arrow on his eyes, and he fell down from the elephant back. Unfortunately, seeing this, Hemu is falling from the elephant back, his army, they returned back, they run away. So on this particular situation, what we can see, Hemu was captured, and it is believed that either Bairangan, otherwise Akbar killed. Since Akbar was a child, it was killed by Bairangan. That's the most important belief or most important opinion by the historians. So that's what we can see. The second battle of Panipat happened, and also as part of that, what was the result? The result was none other than the re-establishment of Mughal Empire. The Mughal Empire is going to re-establish. That's the most important result. Okay, just to try to understand, that is the re-establishment of Mughal Empire. Now we'll be discussing how this role of Bairangan is going to end, and in which, just to try to understand, so what we can see, at his 13, Akbar is going to come into power. He's going to defeat this Hemu, and with the support of Bairangan. But Bairangan later became dismissed and he died later. How it is? how it happened actually. So there we can see the relation between the Bayram Khan and Akbar that grew in some kind of bad relationship or sour or bitter relationship. And the major reason was Akbar, he was in a what? He was like a child, right? So obviously the power actually was ruled by Bayram Khan itself. And Bayram Khan took some of the very important decisions even without considering the king and even without the permission of the king. Such things were happened. One thing they dismissed Bayram Khan, he simply dismissed Pir Muhammad Khan. Pir Muhammad Khan was one of the most important senior official of that period who served during the period of his father. So Pir Muhammad Khan was also something very favor to Akbar as well. Without considering an opinion from Akbar, Bayram Khan with his certain policies, he simply removed Pir Muhammad Khan. There is another reason also. Bayram Khan had many enemies because you know something like among Muslims itself there are basically two communities called, one is Sunni, another one is anybody?
Shia, sir.
Yeah, Shia community. And you can see Bayram Khan was a Shia community. Obviously, most of the nobles, the most noble community were Sunnis. So obviously they are having some kind of a religious tension and issues with Bayram Khan. So Pir Muhammad Khan was dismissed. That made some kind of very important issue in the court that even Pir Muhammad Khan was dismissed by Bayram Khan without the permission of the king. Is Bayram Khan is going to have some kind of autocracy? Such question were asked. Similarly, what we can see, Bayram Khan also executed two of Akbar's favorite personal mahots. Mahots meaning something like the elephant caretaker. Elephant and elephant caretaker. Akbar had some kind of very important, he liked two very important elephants and the caretakers. They were killed by whom? Bayram Khan. All this led to Akbar to say to Bayram Khan like this: thank you, uncle, for this much of services. Now you can go. That was the attitude of Akbar. So what we can see, by 1560, Akbar told him that he could either retire or he can go for Hajj to Makkah. So he chose to go for Makkah for Hajj. But while he was traveling to Gujarat, he was assassinated in there 1561. And it was one particular community called as Afghans, led by Mubarak Khan Lohani. So some Afghans actually killed this person, Bayram Khan. Actually, there is one story behind this one. What we can see, this Afghanis, even though they were one of the most important enemies of Bayram Khan as well as the Mughals, they had some kind of they acted like they were close to Mughals. They were ready to accept their suzerainty, and they gave much respect to Bayram Khan. And when this leader Mubarak Khan Lohani reached near to Bayram Khan, he had some kind of respect. And after that, what we can see, he was after having this a small hug, he was what stabbed from the back, and some other people took their sword and what they simply executed Bayram Khan. That was the story. So Bayram Khan is dying in India, Gujarat, by 1561 itself. And what we can see, Bayram's wife, Salima, was cousin of Akbar as well. She became widow now. So Akbar decided to marry her. Akbar married her. And Bayram Khan had one son. His name was Abdurrahim Khani Khan, one of the most important scholar and one of the Navaratna in the Akbar's court. That is very important, Abdurrahim Khani Khan. And he is the person actually who translated the Turkish Suzuki Babari into Persian Babarnama. So he's the person who actually translated Babarnama into Persian. So that's why this person is something very, very important. Okay, so that is something very important, just to try to know that much of information basically. So guys, in between, I just want to add one more point. After dismissing Bayram Khan from his position, it is said that Bayram Khan had some kind of a revolt against the Mughals, but that was suppressed. Just to try to understand, there were many, there was some kind of petty revolt against the Mughals, and Mughals suppressed that, and finally, from in Gujarat, is going to be killed by or assassinated by some group of Afghans led by Mubarak and Lohani. So note this one point also. Why? Sometimes consider the following statement related to Bayrangan and which of the statements are correct. You will get 5 statement questions. 5 statement wise questions. We'll get that. So for that, you should know something regarding Bayrangan. So guys, let me have some quick revision about this Bayrangan. Yeah, we'll be discussing. I'll be using another particular color. You have to know some of the very basic information, like he died in the year 1561. Not this one, something very important. Second point, he was given the title Khani Khan by Akbar. Then his father's members were in the court. Third point. Fourth point, during the time of Humayun, he was in the post of Muhardar, that is keeper of the seals. Later, during the time of Humayun itself, he became what? He became the commander-in-chief. Okay, fine. And Humayun, what we can see, he was also like Humayun, Bayrangan also defeated in the Battle of Kannauj, and they both went to Persia. And after that, what we can see, he's having some kind of relation with Sikandar Shah Suri of Punjab. Is going to defeat, and what we can see, in Punjab that was brought under the Mughals by Bayrangan itself by defeating Sikandar Shah Suri. Then Tardi Beg, very important. Then Vikramjit or Hemo. This much of informations are very, very important for you. After that, just to try to understand this much of point regarding this Pir Muhammad Khan, this name is something very important. And also just to try to understand Mubarak Khan Lohani. This much of information are very, very important. So you have to learn around 8 to 9 points from Bayrangan. That is enough. Why I am saying you are not supposed to have a good research on Bayrangan, but just to try to understand some of the very important points, and based on that, you should be able to attend your question. For that, know this much of information. Is that clear, guys? Including this one, you can have 10 points. He had some kind of revolt against the Mughals after his dismissal from the power. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now we will be discussing his family and some of the prominent wives. After that, we'll be discussing something very in-depth regarding Akbar. So let me have this discussion. And the family regarding the father itself, father of Akbar was Humayun, and what we can see, mother was Hamida Banu Begum. Hamida Banu Begum, not the name of his mother. And regarding his wives, he had many wives for political alliances, political relationship, and everything. And he had one particular son called as Jahangir, and his earlier name was Salim, and Jahangir is going to take birth in a particular city called as Sikri, something related with Fatehpur Sikri. It's a village, and there Salim is going to take birth after the blessing of a particular Sufi saint called as Salim Chishti. So Salim Chishti and Sufism, or Chishti and Sufism, that is very important for your examination, and we'll be covering in our classroom sessions. Okay, so Salim Chishti, with his blessings, Jahangir is going to take birth in the village Sikri. That's why Jahangir, his earlier name was Salim. Okay, and he had other sons as well as daughters in other wives. Not this much of basic information. And some of the very important wives of Akbar, one is Rokeya Sultan Begum, and she was his first wife. Then Marimu Zamani, that is Jodhabai. Jodhabai is a Rajput princess. Rajput princess, as you guys know something regarding one particular movie as well, Jodhabai. Marimu Zamani is a title given to Jodhabai as well as the ladies who actually gave the ruler the next loyal or legal heir. Means next son. Okay, Marimu Zamani. Then Selima Sultan Begum, the wife of Bayrangan. Bakari Begum, Kasima Banu Begum. These are some of the very important ladies. Just to try to note this name or just to try to understand, that is enough. Fine. But just to try to understand or learn the name of the mother, Hamida Banu Begum. That is very important. Fine. Is that clear, guys? Okay.
Yes.
Now, yeah. Now we'll be discussing something very in-depth. I will be discussing the events happened during the time of Akbar in chronological manner itself. This is something very, very important. You will get a chronology based question. And similarly, we'll be discussing something very important regarding some of the very important political conquests, especially the Battle of Haldighati, conquest of Bengal region, and one of the very important measures, that is land revenue system. And we'll be discussing the Fatehpur Sikri as well as his policy regarding the Fatehpur Sikri, as well as his Ibadat Gana or Sulhi Kul policy, such kind of things. And finally, we'll be discussing Akbar's Navaratna. Okay, so this is about the first session of our today's session.